Hey everyone, welcome back to OCD Recovery's YouTube channel, where today I'm going to talk about how anxiety and OCD affects people in university or college. I'll more than likely just use the word uni because I'm so used to saying that now, even over college. But university, college, grad school, school in general, high school, primary school, whatever you call it. Let me just knock my coffee over on my laptop. That would have sucked. Frustration tolerance. And I'm going to talk about all the mistakes that I typically see with people, men and women alike, who I coach when they're in these situations. Before I go any further, please subscribe, hit that like button down below. Let me know what you think about it, and let's jump right into this. Again, that is Phil at OCDrecovery.com. And thank you, Phil, for all of the very hard work you do in response time behind the scenes. Phil is an integral part of the machine of this business. He really, really is. And I'm so grateful for all the stuff he does. And I don't tell him that enough. So the first thing to understand is, even though you're in university and you have OCD, it doesn't mean that you want to slack off and just experience university and not put any work in. You can do that. It's more than likely not going to be a good idea. Of course, every time I make a fucking video, this dog starts barking. Of course, every time. I won't make a video, she won't bark. I make a video, she barks. Just hears my voice. So you got to accept that life isn't fair, and it's never going to be fair in this sense, in any sense. Well, Nick, I'm in university. I just want to enjoy myself. My friends are going out and they're drinking and they're having fun, but I can't do it because I have false memory of event or contamination. It's such a blah, blah, blah. I get it. It's hard, but the tough love, life does not owe you anything. Compassion, empathy, sympathy mixed into the brewing pot with a lot of tough love. Some people need more tough love. It doesn't need to be used all the time, but as Jim Rohn said in 1981, it's probably the most important type of love, when dosed correctly. And the mental health world has none of this. So you're, oh, just enjoy yourself, girl. Go out there, have fun. Yeah, but you're going out all the time and you're not putting the work in. That's not good. That's not going to lead you anywhere good. So what matters in university is the same thing that matters if you're not in university. Reading the books on the reading list, OCDrecovery.com, under the resource tab. Doing the exercises from the first book on paper. Cutting your compulsions, cutting your avoidance behaviors, decreasing self-reassurance. Stop venting about this with your lovers, your friends, your mom, your dad, your brother, sister, your classmates. I'm not saying you're going to get this right off the bat. I'm not going into the specifics about this. I'm just starting off this video with how people will say, well, it's not fair. This is supposed to be the time of my life. There's no such thing as the time of your life. You speak to certain people, they say the time of their life was in their 80s. Because they had no responsibilities per se. They were living in a nursing home. Or you talk to someone that said the time of their life was in their 20s. It's all subjective and based off the person's belief systems, their economics, what's going on in their world. It's not just this is the time of your life. Nick, the 20s are the best time of your life. Not really for a lot of people. They're starting off in their career, not making a lot of money, and people think that they're stupid. And if they're working at a big company or something. I mean, people will talk down to this. So it's not necessarily true. It just depends on your belief systems. So life isn't fair, and you're going to have to put the work in. The next thing I'm going to talk about, which is probably the most important thing to talk about with people who are in university, is their habits. Getting up at a decent time. Not saying you can't go out and drink, get fucked up, and have fun, stuff like that. You got to balance it. If you're getting fucked up all the time and you're drinking a lot and you're doing hard drugs, you got to take a look at that. That's not good. That's not going to help you with OCD recovery. You want to go out, I get it. I went to University of Central Florida. It was the second biggest university in the college at the time. It was in Orlando. It was insane. I went out and got hammered all the time. Not saying it was a great structure. Not saying it's great for your life, but I'm not saying you have to become a nun, okay? If you want to become a nun, there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm not saying you have to do that. But you got to balance your structure. You're going to want to put the work in, like I said, the books, the reading, cutting behaviors, etc., taking a long-term approach. You also want to realize that your sleep schedule is probably going to be important. If you're waking up at 11 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, 4 in the afternoon, 7 in the morning, all that, that's more than likely not going to be the best thing for recovery. Your situation is different. If you have 5 good friends and you're the 6th person and you're the only one with OCD, your experience in university is probably going to look different. It's just the reality of it. It's going to look different. Your structure is key. I'm telling you right now, you want to know the worst structure? Having an inconsistent sleep schedule all the time, drinking and doing drugs all the time, doing all your assignments late, procrastinating, not taking things seriously, showing up late to class. This is a recipe for 1-800 I'm going to stay stuck with OCD and anxiety for the time being. It's just the reality of it. So you got to put the work in. You got to look at your structure, and you have to realize some of the beliefs that are going on. So what are common beliefs? I can't stand being stuck with OCD and anxiety in college. This isn't fair. Life, acceptance, fear. Oh my God, I'm a failure, rejection. So if you have the failure and rejection components, you're going to have to break that down. You're going to have to be careful about what angle of your OCD is latching on to the university experience. Some people don't really have the first part. It's there, the fear of it ruining your experience. A lot of people have, what if I can't get into a good grad school? What if I can't become a lawyer? What if I can't become a doctor? I come from a culture where they're really, really tough on accolades, the Asian cultures, the India, the Japan, the China. It's in America as much, in Canada as well, North America. It's just not as much unless the cultures are here. Like if you're dealing with a population, let's say you live in an area in a certain part of Canada or America that has a lot of Japanese people in your culture in that area, the culture can be very strict on this. I know, I work all over the world. It's wild how insane it really is. I mean, I knew it was bad before I even educated myself on it, but when I started working with people from like Japan and China, I'm like, what the literal fuck? Your culture is out of their minds, and I love asking people, I'm like, hey, so, how bad is your family? They're like, oh, if I don't become a doctor, they think I'm a loser. It's so bad for them. It's changing. It is changing. Unfortunately, the generations will die off, and there will be goods and pros as each generation goes through. But that's a different conversation. So, but you got to be careful about what it is. Okay, and you got to look at that belief system. Even if I am a failure, which you can't be, you cannot be one entire thing. So even if I fail, even if I don't get into my grad school I want to, even if I have to try over and over again, even if I fail tests, it's not the end of the world. It just means I didn't do well at some things, and other people are going to judge you. So look at what your beliefs are, break them down. But I'm telling you, the most important takeaway from this video, because of 18 to 21 and 22-year-olds in that range, is structure. Life isn't fair. You have OCD and anxiety going to university. You got to look at that structure. If you don't look at it, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a disaster. Phil@OCDrecovery.com. Let me know what you think. Hope to hear from you soon. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day.